Welcome to the Q1 BuckPole. I'm Tim Hart with Mike Big Buck Hoffner. You've got one last chance to register your rack. February the 19th at the Deer and Turkey Spectacular in Lansing. And Mike, you know, a lot of people, oh, I forgot to register my rack. Now's their chance.
We give them one last opportunity. The season's over. There's no excuse.
Okay, well, deer hunting is over, but ice fishing is in. And so we thought we'd talk a little bit about fisheries with Jim Dexter from the DNR.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the ice fishing is going to get hot, and hopefully, if we make some ice. But that's just around the corner, and fishing season's around the corner, so it's all year long. We get to have all kinds of great activities.
One of the hunts we're giving away this year is a wild boar hunt with dogs and all the amenities at Clark Range Hunting Lodge in Clark Range, Tennessee with Ken Moody. Today we're going to show you a whitetail hunt from Ken Moody, and he takes a nice buck.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it's a little bit mellower than shooting those wild boars that attacked him the last time.
And finally, we'll conclude with Chef Steve Deal, venison sauerbraten today. And of course, we're going to have all kinds of big bucks on today's show because we've still got a lot of bucks to feature through the end of February.
Yeah, we even had people stop in at the last minute saying, I'm getting my last chance opportunity. Brought us some videos of some deer they shot during the second season. We'll
talk about the parties also when we come back. Stay with us. You're watching the Q1 BuckPole.
Q1 BuckPole, Michigan's biggest and best buckpole contest. Brought to you by these sponsors who support Michigan's great outdoors.
Back here on the Q1 BuckPole, and we want to remind you that you can go to Q1BuckPole.com to see all of the deer that have been registered in the contest. And again, we remind you, February 19th, last chance to register your rack.
Well, let's talk about racks, Tim. Let's start out with some big deer. First of all, we have Brian Petch from East Leroy bringing in a nice 10-point buck with a score of 40.5. Then we had Alex Taylor's 11-pointer from Hastings scoring 45.5. And Ron Stoltzman, 6-point buck from Decker up in the thumb area, scoring 34.
Well, deer hunting season is over, but fishing is in, so there's still time to get outside. And one of the things we like to do is we like to talk to the DNR about all different aspects of what's going on with the outdoors in Michigan. We've got the DNR representative today, it's Jim Dexter, and he's going to be talking about some of the different fisheries out there in the state of Michigan. I'm now talking to Jim Dexter. He's the acting fisheries chief, and we're here talking about fishing on the Q1 BuckPole because we know a lot of you hunters like to fish, whether it's ice fishing or they just want to go out in the fall or summertime at all.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about some of the opportunities of fishing here in the great state of Michigan.
We have such a tremendous array of opportunities that are available. This state has got anything and everything that a person could look for in freshwater fishing. Whether you want to fish for salmon in the Great Lakes or go for bluegills and perch in small lakes like this here behind us, it's available to everybody, all within very close distances to wherever you may live. Water's never more than about 15 miles from anybody in this state.
So how does the DNR manage all this fishing?
Well, we have staff here in the Department of Natural Resources and Fisheries Division, and we're responsible for the management of all the fisheries resources in the state. We have offices located throughout the Upper and Lower Peninsula. Technicians and biologists go out and work in the field, surveying streams, surveying lakes. We have Great Lakes research vessels, and we're out in the field from about the end of March through early November conducting field assessments, doing inventories, seeing how populations are, using that information to develop management proposals that we may move forward with to try to always make fishing better. Our goals are to maintain, improve fishing throughout the state for all anglers, and we spend a lot of time and we put a lot of fish into the water. We do a lot of different types of surveys. Things come out really pretty good.
Well, one of the things we want to talk about too is you don't have to have that, you know, $50,000 bass boat to go out and do some fishing here in Michigan.
Oh, well, you can start off with the most simple. You can cut a stick and put some line on it and just toss it out there with a bobber. Or, you know, once you become more advanced and you want to get out and do different types of fishing, there's so many different ways that you can fish, and the equipment that's available just runs the gamut. Spinning rods, open face reels, closed face reels. You can troll, casting from shore, getting out in a boat. It just depends what floats your boat. You know, if you want to get out in a boat and fish, that's a great way to do it. But there's a lot of different areas where you don't need to have that type of investment. You don't need to have a boat. You don't need to have waders. There's a lot of parks that are available here in the state. There's a lot of community accesses in cities, county parks, things like that, where people can go out and learn how to fish. You might not catch the biggest fish, but you're going to have fun doing it. And that's the whole point, is to get outside, get comfortable with the activity, and then explore from there. Once you get comfortable with it, you know what to do. You could never sample everything that we have just here in the state of Michigan. We have just so much that's available.
Good. Now, Jim, can I get more information on the DNR website? I know that you have the weekly fishing report on the website, so you need to go there. I check that out all the time.
We do have a weekly fishing report, and you can sign up for that now, and you can get it sent to you in your email. Okay. So you don't have to keep checking back.
Well, I go to the DNR website, then I go to the media, and then I get to watch the Q1 BuckPole segments like this.
There you go.
So
there you go.
I kind of do a number of things.
Yeah, and we have a lot of information, and we're adding new stuff monthly. You know, we're starting to add techniques. So if people want to know, hey, how do I go out and fish for smallmouth bass, or how do I go out and fish for trout? We're starting to add that kind of information to our website, so that people that don't know how can at least get a basic idea. But it's always a good thing to mentor up with somebody that knows what they're doing. Just like if you're going to be a new deer hunter, you want to go out there and learn those techniques so that you can be successful.
That's what it's all about. Jim, thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much.
All right, Jim Dexter with us here from the DNR. He's the acting fisheries chief. I'm Tim Hart. You're watching the Q1 BuckPole. Time now to talk about giving yourself the best chance when you're out in the woods. We only have so much time to be out there hunting. Well, you want to make sure that your scent is controlled. Jim Lombardi with us here from Buck Fever Synthetics.
Nice
and Jim, one of the things we want to talk about today, Vanishing Hunter. And there's a lot of different products out in the market, but one of the things about something like this is spray it, clothes, body, face, mouth, everything, because a deer, they can smell a lot of different scents out there.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're not taking care of 100% of it, then why just take care of 5% of it? I'm not going to just spray my boots. I want to take care of my breath. Your breath is 70% of your odor. It's, first of all, body temperature, right? And second of all, it's moist. So when you're breathing that air, there's actually moisture going in the air. You see it in the morning, right, when you're hunting? Well, that moisture carries. This product actually prevents the bacteria that's in your mouth, number one. But the biggest thing is it actually takes you and turns you to a prey animal. Sounds crazy. Why does it do that? Do you eat meat?
Yes, I do.
You eat deer meat.
Oh, yeah.
I love deer meat.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? I love it all. When you eat meat, amino acids come through your skin, okay? And that is what tells any prey animal, or any animal at all, that you're a predator, okay? By neutralizing the lactic acid that's in your skin, you just turned into another deer.
Well, Jim, like we've talked about, you know, you're really trying to give yourself the best chance when you're out in the woods, and scent control of your body, of your clothes, of your equipment is one of the best ways, isn't it?
It should be your priority. It really should. I mean, if you're a smoker and you don't care and you just play the wind, then do that. But if you want deer to come from any direction, then you need to start with scent control.
All right. Jim Lombardi from Buck Fever Synthetics. I'm Tim Hart. You're watching the Q1 BuckPole. Welcome back to the Q1 BuckPole. You could go to Q1BuckPole.com to see all of the bucks registered in the contest. We've got a nice deer hunt coming up with Ken Moody from Clark Range Hunting Lodge. But before that, big buck with big bucks.
All right, thinking of some nice bucks. Let's start out with Norman Holbrook from Pinconning with a 10-pointer. His score was 44.5. Jared Bender's 8-point buck from Omer scored 35 3/4, and Brad Woodman's 8-pointer from Baroque scored 42.
And you know, Mike, a lot of people have sent us in their videos this year, and we continue to ask for those. So if you had a great hunt that you videotaped this year, send it in. We've still got time to feature on the show. The program runs all the way through the end of February.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, again, we had somebody stop by the station just today to drop off a last-minute hunt where he recorded him shooting the doe, second season.
All right, now let's go hunting with Ken Moody from Clark Range Hunting Lodge.
Yes.
here. Whew. Man, I'm still tore up. I can't believe it. I got it on tape. I had to back the tape up and make sure I got it on camera, but I got it. I can't believe it, man. I'm hunting behind a subdivision, more or less, way off on an old bench that leads onto a bluff that drops off into the deep woods. And about a week ago, I found this scrape line out here. And I came in here and I made a mock scrape. And I'm sitting here, I'm not 10 yards off the scrape, and I mean, it's 5 minutes after 9 right now. And I've been sitting here since daylight. And if you think it's easy getting into a tree in the dark with a camera and film yourself with this camera pod and stuff, then man, you never tried it. But I've shot one real big buck in my life with a bow, and this is probably bigger. This is a damn slobber knocker. This is a huge buck. So I'm gonna try to get out of the tree without falling down. And I'm gonna get down here and hook this camera pod, this little pod I got. I'm gonna hook it up to a tree and try to drag this buck somewhere where we can show you how great a buck this thing really is. But man, he ran about, I'm looking at him, he's went about 60 yards or so, and he's laying right on his side in the sun. I had a hard quarter and I dusted him. So let's go see what we got. Right here is what he was coming for, this mock scrape I made about 3 days ago, and I scented it up and freshened it up this morning. And I came in here, and of course you can see he was checking it out, because right there's my arrow. And I don't know how big this deer is. Let's go check him out. Okay, I turned him around so we could get a look at that rack, man. What a buck. Are you believing that? I hit him on a hard quarter right there, drove it out the other shoulder, and good Lord, what a deer. I am so excited. I've calmed down quite a bit from the tree, but I was about to fall out of the tree, as you can you can tell. Well, I'm back at the lodge with this beautiful, big 9-point whitetail. I was so excited in the woods this morning that I didn't get any footage. I didn't do any little hero scene. I didn't tell you where I was or anything. I'm just happy I got the shot, because I was pumped up. That is as excited as I've been in years. And I found this nice big scrape line. Big scrapes about that big around. A couple of them had been freshened. And what I did was put a mock scrape off of that scrape line, because I want to try to pull this buck to where I could shoot him, because he had it in some rough spots. And I got up in the tree about 12 yards from the scrape, and I don't know if you can tell from the video or not, but this buck, when he first came in, I couldn't film him. He was coming in just like this, and his tail was half erect, just sticking up like that. And he come prancing in like that, and he went all the way around me. You know, and I thought I'd spooked him or he'd smelled me or something. And about 20 minutes later, about 8 o'clock in the morning, he came up right behind the stand and eased up to that scrape, and he was checking it out and gave me a hard quartering shot, and I took him right behind the right shoulder back, and it drove it out at a hard quarter. He went 60 steps, piled up, and I almost fell out of the stand. I was so excited.
What a great hunt from our buddy Ken Moody. And we remind you that we're giving away a wild boar hunt at Clark Range Hunting Lodge in Clark Range, Tennessee. And Mike, that is a hunt to win for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I did it one time last year. It was a wild experience. If you've never done it before, you're going to really enjoy that trip.
All right, stay with us. When we come back, we've got more deer, big bucks to show you from around the state. And then we're going to do some cooking with Chef Steve Deal. You're watching the Q1 Buckpole. Well, before we do some cooking with Chef Steve Deal, we've got some more bucks to show you from around the state. Again, go to Q1BuckPole.com. You can see all of the deer, and we're starting to finalize what place the deer are in. Remember, we will re-register, actually rescore all the deer at each of the prize parties, especially the top 10.
Yeah, I think that's critical in terms of fairness. We've done that every year, and it's interesting because we've had some positions where we thought people were number one, and they were actually number two, but they've all been good sportsmen because they felt it was fair.
All right, let's check in with some more bucks here with Big Buck Hoffner.
All right, here we go. Let's start out with Keith Van Sickle from Clio with a 9-pointer. His score was 44. Mike Polske's 8-pointer from Deckerville scores 42 3/4. Leon Graham with a 9-pointer from Onaway, Michigan, far up north. Nice score of 50 1/4. And Doug JQ's 12-pointer from Battle Creek scoring 43 3/4.
And then I get started with my German impression. Say, "Auf der Lieber, are we ready for some sauerbraten?"
I'm ready.
All right, here's Chef Steve Deal from the Battle Creek area with some venison sauerbraten. Und we're going to be cooking up something very good today. A little German. I know it's a horrible accent, but
it's Oktoberfest.
And we're going to be making Sauerbraten, right?
Sauerbraten. It's a classic. I guess the best way you could say it in American terms, it's a German pot roast. Remove it from its marinade. Reserve the red onions. Reserve the liquid that's from your marinade. I know everybody kind of says, oh my gosh, you can't do that because it's going to be contaminated with the blood and everything. Not after 5 days with the vinegar and the sugar. Trust me, it's cured. I got a nice hot pan that we're going to sear that Sauerbraten on all sides. Get a nice, real good crunch to it.
Now, is this something that you're going to be concerned with, you know, because it is a thicker piece of meat, rawness in the middle, or how are you going to take care of that?
Things we're going to cook it for 4 to 5 hours. Sauerbraten is pot roast in some sense for American versions. You really want to go long and slow with this baby. The longer it cooks, the more tender it is. Can't go wrong with it. You know, slow braised meats is a classic anywhere. Home comfort food like that. Everybody remembers Grandma's pot roast when they were a kid, right? This is basically the same concept, but you marinate your meat ahead of time.
All right, so now we're going to sear it like this, and then we'll bake it, or?
Right. The reserved liquid that we have, we're going to take the reserved liquid, and actually just onions that I have right here, I'm going to put the onions in and start sauteing with it. Put it right around the outside of it. And then a heat-resistant pan that you put a lid on it, crock pot. Like I said before, a crock pot's this is a perfect dish for a crock pot. You take that, put it in the crock pot, you reserve liquid, add a little more beef stock to it, or chicken stock or vegetable, whatever your personal is. And many times if you don't have that, just use some water. Just make sure you put a little seasoning in that water, because you know, I don't know where water comes from. Most times it's never seasoned where I've had it.
Now, Steve, so you're going to sear it first, and then you're going to put it in the crock pot? Is that how that's working?
Yes, exactly. The reason I'm searing it first is I want to lock in all those flavors. Okay? I do want to keep some of that moisture inside of it. Venison's a very lean meat, but you want to keep the dexterity to it all the way. While you keep that kind of seared on the outside of it, it's going to cause that meat, that flavor to stay inside. You don't want to lose your flavor. Okay, we're going to actually put this into the oven. Now, the juices that were inside of it that I braised it in, I had taken this one earlier and put it into a food processor, so I blended all those juices up together, give them a real nice sauce.
So again, that's the red pepper, that's everything that you had, you're just blending it up, and that way it's going to get...
The beef stock, the brown sugar, the vinegar, everything has been blended into it right there. Now my favorite thing to do with this dish is another classic German cuisine, this time of year for Oktoberfest, potato cakes. You can't go wrong with a good potato cake. I like to take my potato cake, put it right on the center of the plate, break off a big, nice chunk of that. See, look at this, nice and fork tender. Okay, I like a couple chunks of it.
Well, we got to eat hearty, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh. Always got to make sure your plates are nice and clean before and after you're done eating.
The potato pancakes, you know, give me the quick once over of making those.
Quick potato cakes. The way I was taught to make potato cakes: fresh potatoes grated, onion, a little chive into it, put sour cream. I put a little horseradish into it for personal flavor, and that's it. Bam, you're done with it.
And then you're just going to fry those up, right?
I just fry them just in a little clarified butter so that I don't have any residuals from the milk solids inside the butter for causing the potato to miscook or improperly cook. And that's that, you know. Right there's one of my favorite dishes right there.
So something like this, now this is going to take a little more preparation. I mean, I know a lot of times we take venison, we go bang, 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 bang. But if you want your family to have an awesome meal, this is the way to go, isn't it?
With a little comfort food back behind it. You know, this is something that's great. You know, the busy, hectic days with school or whatever. It could be weekend with soccer games going on. If you want to go hunting for the day, you know, you pop this in the crock pot, put it into an oven even at slow temperature, like 250 degrees for about 5 hours, so it's nice and tender. Pull it out, you know, potato cakes, mashed potatoes. You can serve it over rice, you can serve it over noodles. Put a little dollop of sour cream on the top of it, you know, bam. Your family is going to be so happy about that eating.
All right, and you could get this recipe and all the recipes from our chefs right on Q1BuckPole.com. Chef Steve Deal, as always.
Thank you.
Delicious. That's what I can tell you when you're talking about Chef Steve Deal and any of the recipes that he makes, especially the venison sour braten today. And you know, Mike, all the recipes are online right now.
Yeah, we've made it, you know, I think fantastic. You got your own cookbook, just go online, write them all down. We've seen them all cooked in every segment this year. I'm telling you, some phenomenal recipes.
We've got a lot of hunts we're giving away this year at all the prize parties. The prize parties kick off January 20th at the Kellogg Arena in Battle Creek, and then January 26th will be at the Eagles Hall in Coldwater. So a lot of things happening. One of the hunts we're giving away is a Saskatchewan deer hunt from lastminutehuntingandfishing.com in Canada. Make sure you go online and get registered. And Mike, you know, it's been a great season. We've still got more deer to feature in upcoming show segments. We've got some hunts that have been brought in, and then we're going to show some party stuff going on in February.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, and I just want to make sure we put a plug out there. Support those sponsors. We've had a phenomenal year. They've done some tremendous things and giving us prizes to give away to you, the hunters out there. So get out there and support the things that you love to do best. That's hunt and support those sponsors.
All right, for Mike Big Buck Hoffner, I'm Tim Hart. Thanks for watching us this week on the Q1 Buck Pole. Remember, whenever you're out in the woods, make sure you're safe.
For the latest on Michigan hunting, pick up the current edition of Woods and Water News, Michigan's premier outdoor publication. Available on newsstands or by subscription. Woods and Water News, proud sponsor of the Q1 Buck Pole.
If you didn't register your rack, you've got one last chance, February the 19th at... Oh, man.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying to think of what I want to start with here. Okay, here we go, Jim.
Yeah, we don't want to get to that one.
Yeah.
That was a good blooper.
Hoffner's making me ill. That's the way we roll. Ready?
Uncle Eddie.
I had this now first. I got back to Columbia and I got this, and I mean, I've been blowing my nose.
Don't give it to me. You got some great bloopers on him this week.
No, you don't. These are just...
I just kind of sit here and just let him cook himself.
Dumb.